One important part of America where reputation seems to, so far, have little impact is K through 12 education. It's a government monopoly. Every teacher's paid the same. Their teaching reputation doesn't matter. Even if Ms. Grunchable is known for throwing kids out the window, your kids will still be stuck with her if she's their assigned teacher. And she's paid as much as every other teacher. But that's about to change, says the author of The New School, How the Information Age Will Save American Education from Itself. And that's Glenn Reynolds, creator of Instapundit. So why will education change?
Well, it's already changing, and the reason is people have alternatives. My daughter actually went to internet high school or online high school, and it was not homeschool, it was fully accredited. But
you didn't teach her?
No, I didn't teach her. And it went very well, and she graduated early at 16. And it let her work the way she wanted to work, which was basically to take a year's worth of course material and crunch through it in 3 intense weeks and then move on to the next class, which is something you couldn't do at a public school.
Until that happened, you didn't realize how controlled you were by the government.
Oh, it's so true. You know, you take it for granted, it's just part of the background, but you're really under the thumb of the public school in so many different ways. I mean, you move somewhere for the good schools, even if it means a long commute for you. You know, your property values go up or down based on whether you're zoned in or out of a particular school's district. If you want to go on vacation with your family, you have to wait till some school bureaucrat says you can. And if you'd rather not get up at the crack of freaking dawn to take your kid to school, too bad. That's what you got to do.
So your daughter enrolls in this web school, and suddenly you're freer than you were.
I was amazed how much freer I felt.
Now, you say this will also apply to colleges. What do you mean?
Well, colleges have their own problem. You know, people have been talking for a while about a higher education bubble. And the traditional college model, actually like the K-12 model, is imported from Germany back in the 19th century. And it's looking kind of obsolete now. People spend 4 years, sometimes 5 or 6 years of their lives in college. And a lot of times when they graduate, over 40% of the time, according to Gallup, they wind up in jobs they could have gotten without a college degree anyway. But they're in debt. I mean, you know the difference between a Starbucks barista who went to college and one who didn't go to college?
Debt.
$100,000 or whatever. Yeah, that's right.
But there's, I'm told, pushback on these online courses. I heard that the best professor was getting 100,000 students, and based on his reputation. I thought that was great, but I read in the New York Times, online courses are rethought after setbacks. University of Penn online courses, only 4% of students finished, and so on.
I don't think that's so bad. I mean, we'd be a lot better off if traditional education was being rethought after setbacks instead of continuing to just do the same thing year after year. But the important thing is that there's a learning curve. And with traditional education, there's not.
Now, the best guys might have 100,000 students and make $1 million.
Oh, absolutely.
All based on reputation? And
that's not so bad. I mean, that, for one thing, that gives people an incentive to be better, which is pretty much lacking from the current system. There's a great scene from Ghostbusters where Dan Aykroyd is explaining to Bill Murray why he's crazy to want to seek a life elsewhere.
Personally, I like the university. They gave us money and facilities. We didn't have to produce anything. You've never been out of college. You don't know what it's like out there. I've worked in the private sector. They expect results.
There hasn't been much change since 1800, but you say it's going to happen suddenly. The rubber band will pull and pull and pull, and then it'll break.
I think that's right. I think it's starting to happen now. I mean, you're seeing enrollments falling at expensive colleges that parents and students don't think offer a lot. And you're actually seeing more and more people looking into alternatives to college, especially employers, like certificates that show somebody's actually good at something concrete, as opposed to a diploma, which can mean almost anything.